certainly are in love with him here in Louisville. Marcus in the open floor. Incredible.
Get up, get up, get up, get up. Let's get ready for Marcus Mason. You're about midway to the midday with Marcus Mason. And you can call in or lay back and just listen to Marcus Mason. So sit back and relax and watch Raven.
Broadcasting live from the Sam Aguiar Injury Lawyer Studios. Time for Middays with Marcus Maben on 93.9 The Ville. Hurt in a car? Call Sam Aguiar. Now, here's Marcus Maben and Steve Rummage.
Welcome back. Welcome back. It's Middays with Marcus Maben. 8150 93.9 is the number. 93.9 is the station. Today is going to be a heavy emotional reaction Thursday. Steve Rummage in the building, Tanner in the booth.
You know, I'm here, and I'm going to just say it. I spent all night thinking about another man.
The first thing I said this morning is, oh, Chuck. Listen, my voice box was used with this exact sound. Oh, man, I hope Chucky's okay.
Yeah. That's all I've thought about. Ever since he listen, the moment I watched this man clutch his groin, and then I watched a replay and noticed he took no impactful hit to that groin.
See, I was never hoping that a man got hit in his testicles any more than at that moment.
Listen, I'm sitting there watching the game with Charity last night, and I told her, I said, God, I hope he got hit in the sack. I really, really hope he got hit between the legs. Because if not, and then they showed him laughing, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, he probably got hit. And then they showed the replay, and I'm like, he didn't. He didn't. Marcus, I'm just going to say it right now on the 6th of February, and I'm going to be this guy. That don't heal.
I know.
That he's dealing with that for the rest of the season.
I know.
And I'm never that guy. I'm never the
I know.
look. I'm not saying he won't play.
I know.
But that's not healing before the season's over.
I
He's
know.
dealing with that for the rest of the season. And that sucked.
That sucked.
Mm-hmm.
That sucked.
Yeah. No, I hated it. And like I said, I think he'll play. I mean, look, would I be totally blown away if he doesn't play Saturday? No. But, like, he'll play the rest of the season. But, my God, man. I will say. Now, there's a lot of good last night, too.
Will he practice for the rest of the season? Did we just start this whole show with Chucky Hepburn's groin?
Yes. It's the most popular groin in the city of Louisville right now.
Or potential sack. We don't know yet.
Yeah.
It's probably groin.
Sports hernia.
The most popular groin since Taquan Dean, who will be in town this weekend.
Maybe since Ray Spalding's.
Ray Spalding.
His was more recent, right?
Yeah, that's right. I just said Dean because he remember that year he was off and on. He couldn't play, and it's like, God, man. And that's the good news is how bad is it? Ray, it affected Ray, but Ray played pretty well through it.
The good thing is Chucky Hepburn relies on light change of pace, body positioning, good shooting. It may affect his ability to harass, but he doesn't let people speed him up and slow him down. So he'll be at least operating at his own speed. I mean, these are best and worst case scenarios.
I agree with that.
But I didn't like it either.
I didn't like it either. But there's still, we're going to operate until we hear different that, maybe just a slight tweak
And
something
you know what else
just
I
have to deal
thought?
with.
I thought it was so immediate. It was so immediate, and he didn't leave the sideline. He didn't go to stretch or anything. It tells me that it's this is just Marcus saying this. He's already had a groin issue
Uh-huh.
because it was too quick.
Yeah.
Just it was
Yeah.
again, when somebody pulls their groin or something, you go to the back. You probably lay on your back. They ask you about raising your leg. Different ways. They kind of you might get some immediate therapy. Something. He got nothing.
Yeah.
It was just I'm out. I'm on the bench. I'm done. It tweaked. It pulled. I'm done. That's another best case scenario. It's something he's been dealing with already. We just didn't know about it, and he hasn't had any pulls in front of us.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, I think that I absolutely think
Not
that's
to mention the Georgia Tech game, and this is just me putting together all the math and all the reactions and every little tea leaf I could possibly read. The game, right?
Mhm.
I was hoping to see him play a lot more minutes at the 2 and see Terrence Edwards Jr. play at the 1 because I thought I thought we would get up big early. Listen, my fault for getting a big head. I thought we would get up big, and I thought we could get a lot of reps in, after we got up big with Terrence Edwards Jr. at the point. He was bringing the ball up after the jump ball. The jump ball went to Chucky at Georgia Tech, and he was parallel with Terrence. So it was meant for Terrence to start the offense at the point on the first possession. So I said, okay, I'm like a little early for that, but I'll play that game,
Mhm.
And so then you started just doing the math, and you're like, they're really putting the point guard, putting Terrence at point guard before the game even gets in doubt a lot of times, because they ran the alley-oop play for James Scott in the beginning.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah. This is right down the road from me. Right down the road from me.
Right. For Chucky Hepburn to throw that alley-oop to James Scott, that was particularly, best passer, long distance. I get it. But Terrence Edwards Jr. has been running a lot of point, initiating a lot of point with or without Chucky being in there. So, like I said, all that put together just makes me it's positive in my brain because I'm like, they seemed overly prepared for this eventuality.
What? Yeah, no, and that's a great point because Bob actually was talking to Pat Kelsey, and it was funny because he was like, man, you guys kind of went on the run. You kind of blew the game open, and we'll get to the game obviously here in a second. But he's like, once Chucky went out, and it was Pat Kelsey or Coach Kelsey's response was good because he said, "Yeah, man, maybe we should just get rid of that dude." I was like, "Yeah." Right.
It's like you think that's funny? You think that's funny? You know what, Steve? Go ahead.
Well, no, but to your point, they didn't miss much of a beat because when I saw that and I realized Chucky's probably not coming back in today, I was like, "Oh man, we might have to fend them off a little bit down the stretch," and we didn't. I mean, it busted wide open. No pun intended. Today's groin day, obviously, but after that injury. You went from playing an 8 to 11 point game to almost up 30. Like, pretty quick, too. It was like, man, you looked up and you're like, we're up 25. Where did this come from?
How did that happen?
So,
of course, their coach didn't give us much credit. Their coach says Yeah, our guys just wore down a little bit.
Yeah.
Is that right,
That's
Coach?
that's what we do. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was kind of pissy the whole game. I don't know. I didn't like his attitude.
You know, it's funny you say that because I'll listen. I'll give myself a C minus. Well, not. I'll give myself a C, not a C minus for the scouting report. For yesterday's game, it talked about the big boy. Was his name Benning, who didn't play?
It was out. Yeah.
At the last minute. Because at first I felt terrible because I thought I gave a bad scouting report not knowing that he wasn't going to play, but apparently he was a late scratch. Okay. I talked about, how hard Boston College had been playing. Like that Florida State was a wild game, right?
Uh-huh.
And, like I said, the Carolina game, they took Carolina to the wall. Like they had been playing some hard basketball. And not to be this guy, but I felt like over the last two games, they deserved to have more fans in there than I saw. Now, I don't know if there was any events or weather. I don't know, was it nasty, rainy or something?
Yeah, it was Boston.
Boston. What did I say?
Seattle. No.
You're right. It was Boston being Boston.
It's Boston.
Yeah,
like
Boston.
It's the Seattle of the East, man.
You're right, but I didn't know if it was like, is it Boston being extra Boston-y? Right? Where they're just like, I'm not going over there to that game. And again, we just lost to Atlanta. Or I mean, maybe us not being in the top 25 might have took some juice out of it. I just thought I would see a little bit, just thought that I would see a little bit more energy from that sideline. Do you know, like when we hit 3-pointers, we can audibly hear across the gymnasium the collective boom when you hit a 3, right?
Oh yeah.
I heard all like on the scout, I heard their bench was turned up in these other games, and I didn't hear a peep. So when you say the coach was a little, had a little stink attitude, it was like even their bench over there. I'm like, that's not the turned up bench that I seen. That's not the crowd that I saw help closing out that comeback in the Florida State game. They just did not have the energy. I'm like, did I miss something?
Or do I give myself credit for that?
Yep.
Do I give myself credit? Because, I mean, how many times do you see teams, like last night, and I know we're still with big picture. We'll have Dr. Patel around 10:30 or so talk about a couple things.
Shut up.
But we will also, like James Black, just jumping in there. But, everybody, I know. He messes you up, doesn't he? But anyways, it was he's power hungry. By the way, I need to have a talk with you about something James Black said yesterday. It was it's hilarious, actually.
Okay, I'll be on it.
You're gonna get a kick out of it. Yeah. So, anyways, it was when you're hitting shots, and it's like, okay, this is a decent game, like back and forth, but you just can't. The announcer said it. They just can't seem to cut it past 6.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like Boston College would be on a nice run, and it would be a 12, 13, 14-point game. Boston College would be on a nice run, it'd be about 6, and then it was like, all right, clamp it. And it was.
What do you blame that on?
The life out of you.
What do you blame that on?
No, I think we do that to a lot of teams.
Big timely shots, timely fouls, timely draw up possessions.
No. I think just timely. I think just timely stops, like possessions, and some. I guess some could be threes, but that's why Georgia Tech was so
Anomaly-ish.
An anomaly-ish because they were doing the same thing. They would cut it back, we'd push it out, cut it back, and then they got over the hump, and it was like we didn't punch back a little bit, It was like, all right, and that was an odd thing in this run that we've been having in ACC play, So I think that just kind of kills the spirits, man. I mean, how many times
of
can you
other
watch
team
your
of
team cut it
opponents.
to- yeah, how many times can you be on the sideline and watch your team cut it to 6 or 7? And then Louisville get 3 straight stops and, go on a 5-point run, and now you're like, all right, well, now it's back to 11. It doesn't have to be some crazy run,
Right.
I mean, it could just be 3 straight possessions, and then what starts.
I'm listening.
Boston College, come down, 1 shot, no pass. They come down.
Yeah.
Like
Like
you know what I'm saying?
Like
Like
the hero ball or something.
yeah, yes. Like, hey, we're dribbling down, boom, pull up. They dribble down, 1 pass, pull up. And it was like, okay. And that's where you would see Louisville balloon that thing back out. It's almost like Louisville forces you into that. You know what I mean?
Just making you work too hard to get a good shot ends up fatiguing you more than anything else. Like mentally fatiguing your offense.
Absolutely. So I don't know. I mean, that was why I wondered if it wasn't a little bit of that, because I know that's got to be frustrating as a team. And I love it, of course, because, I mean, that's the way we love to win. We love to win that way. We love to python you, man.
Yeah. It's the wilting of your opponent what gets you excited.
Yes, absolutely. So, and that's kind of what we did last night. And in any time, and now I know we're getting a little more into the game a little bit, big picture, but that's why watching that game, I mean, even early, I never really felt the vibe that Louisville was going to lose that game. Yeah. I mean, you could see it like pretty quick.
Yeah,
it was like, okay,
they relaxed and focused. Like
yeah,
not relaxing. Actually, Terrence Edwards Jr. said it in a press conference. Said we're not a cool team, and we got a little cool going. At Georgia Tech. We wear teams down. We get the gritty. The gritty nature of it. So yeah, like they were a lot tighter. Listen, of course, I'm sitting there saying, look, you know how it is, Steve. You're up 12, and you're like, that's not enough. You're up 14.
Yeah,
it's not enough. 16. It's like 3 threes. It's down to an 8-point game. And
no.
Go ahead.
It's why. Listen, it's why I saw David Padgett actually say something last night on Twitter about. He's like, I don't know if Twitter's always like this, but he's like, man, basically like they hit a shot and the world's ending. We go on a run and everything's good. I'm like, that's the one thing Twitter has brought is you get to see everybody collectively go through a game together.
Right.
Like,
no, because when you said you're living the game through Twitter, you're really experiencing most of the emotion. The
absolutely.
Emotion.
You can follow Twitter and know, and feel like I watched the game
with the fan base.
But I will say this: I don't always get on Twitter, see the reaction, and go, "Oh, we're winning or losing," because the reaction may be we're losing. I look at the score and I'm like, "Wait, we're winning.
We're winning by 14."
Like last night in the first half, if you had been on Twitter, you might have thought we were losing the game.
between referee fouls and just like
and look, and Boston College they're still an okay team. And here's the thing: more times than not, even in a blowout game, you don't blow a team off the court in the first half,
right?
Like that happens, and that's just some of those games where you're like, my God, they just didn't have it.
And it didn't help. They kept sticking up graphics about comebacks and how they've overcome 15-point comebacks and 9-point.
Absolutely.
I'm like, what are y'all?
Absolutely.
What kind of curse what kind of hex are you trying to put on us? I tell you what, Steve. Let's get a reset. You're gonna have Dr. Patel on the other side, I believe. So quick commercial break. 939 The Ville.
Westwood One is the only place for exclusive audio coverage of every NFL postseason game. Hi, this is Scott Graham. Join us throughout the month of January and into February as we bring you Super Wildcard Weekend, the Divisional Round, Championship Sunday, and of course Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans. All 13 NFL playoff games are on Westwood One. If it's the NFL playoffs, it's right here.
On ESPN 680, 105.
Hey, fellas.
What's going on?
So, did somebody text y'all during the show and say that Steve was not loud enough or something?
Yes.
Yeah, Steve, you're way too loud. Just turn it down.
Oh, wait. Steve is way too loud now.
He was a little softer, so I was letting it go. But then all of a sudden, he was just massively loud. But because I was playing, I didn't want to jump back on and say turn it down.
Wait a minute, Steve, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay,
He's still way too loud.
What did you do to make it loud?
I can't do anything.
So when I text,
just turn him down some kind of way.
Wait a minute. When I text you, wait, Steve.
Oh, I just started talking louder.
Okay, is he?
Hey, don't talk that loud, Steve, because it's.
Okay, wait. Tell me, James. Keep talking, Steve.
Hello.
No,
Hello?
not hello. Let's do 1, 2. But I already can tell Steve's too loud. Just turn him down some.
I'm trying to turn him down, James.
My bad. I thought. Okay.
Yeah, so what do you think we're trying to do?
Okay.
I mean, Steve, if you say something else, you're gonna break the board. So.
How is he now?
Y'all count 1, Steve, 2, 3, and go for it.
Okay, 1,
2,
3.
Yeah, Steve's
4,
too loud.
5,
6,
7.
It's too loud. Sorry.
That's got me. I don't know.
Marcus, start from 0 from Steve.
Hold on. Because this is like I've never heard Steve be this loud before, and I thought it was awesome on my
You
end.
loud on your end, Marcus?
You said what?
You hear that he's loud on your end?
No. Sounds
okay,
good on you.
Yeah, he's loud, but it's all. I mean, if it was just a little bit, I'd let it go.
I mean, I could talk a little quieter.
No, you sound, to me it sounded great. So what, James, are you getting popping or something on your end?
Yeah, exactly. When Steve talks.
But
I mean, we can manage. It's just like all of a sudden he was soft, and I was about to, wait for a break until you just turn up a little bit, and then all of a sudden he just massively got way louder.
I thought it was perfect. Again,
I tell you what, we'll roll with it. Y'all used to have a Nick anyway.
Well, I can take it. Stop.
Robert, can you back up? Actually, I can't let that go. That's just way too loud.
Okay.
Our meters are stopped working now.
Let me see.
I don't know. Like, I'm not even talking.
I think that's fine. Do 1, 2, 3 real quick.
Okay.
1,
2.
hey James, you can put that. You can put the commercials back in the ear.
And the team at Remax Empire are the seasoned pros you want on your side. They know how to navigate the market, make the right calls, and get you the best deal every time. So don't let a cut rate agent make a rookie mistake and fumble your financial future. Whether you're buying, selling, or just need some mortgage advice, these are the folks you want in your corner. So here's the play. Call Josh Jarbo, 502-216-7590, or check him out online at joshjarbo.remaxempireky.com. And here's a special offer just for you guys. Mention
right,
you
going
heard it
in
right
16,
here
we got
on
Patel on the
93.9
line.
Ville, and you're going to
Okay, cool.
receive up to a $5,000 seller's credit. I'll leave you with this. Top-notch service might seem expensive, but poor service can cost you a fortune. Don't settle for less than the best.
Josh Jarbo, principal broker owner of Remax Empire and co-founder of Modern Mortgage A to Z, NMLS number 2256125. Each office is independently owned and operated. Modern Mortgage A to Z is an equal house lender.
2025 season tickets are on sale now for Louisville's professional soccer club, starting at just $12 per game. The men's team, Louisville City, and women's squad Racing Louisville will be back in action this March. That makes tickets the perfect gift idea for friends and family this holiday
15.
season. A perennial winner, Louisville City is one of America's greatest soccer success stories, and top-tier Racing Louisville competes in the world's best league, the NWSL. Support pro soccer in Louisville by securing your season tickets today at lynnfamilystadium.com.
One of the most valuable resources one could have. If you agree with that sentiment, then DFH Company is most certainly the company for you. Simply dial 968-6222 or look them up online at dfhcompany.com. Make sure you look into the Mitsubishi Mini Split like the one we use here at the 93.9 Studios for that hard to heat, hard to cool room in your home. Again, 968-6222 or look them up online at dfhcompany.com. Joining us from New Horizons Foot and Ankle Associates, Dr. Patel. How's it going, Doc?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Feeling good, feeling good. Now, listen, at this time, you are always one of the most interesting people in the world, so I'll open this conversation with asking, what's the new Dr. Patel focus on? What has been the latest focus for the past week or more?
Well, this past week, I mean, work is work, and helping patients and getting them back to doing what they want to do. Outside of that, we're heading to New Orleans to support the Philly Eagles for the Super Bowl. So we're excited for that. And then we've launched the Perfect Shoe Company in the Medical Arts Building on Eastern Parkway, and we've started gait analysis training, and Sports Motion Lab is about to open in the next few weeks. So we've been working around the clock trying to get that all going. And there's a few other things that are in the works that we'll talk about down the line here around March or April that are exciting things that we're bringing to Louisville as well.
Doc, wait a minute, Steve. I have to do this, and this is the most shameless thing I've ever done in my life. And I want, Steve, after I do it, I want you to acknowledge that I've never done something like this in my entire radio career. Dr. Patel, my son is the president of the NFLPA. He talks about, like, one of his top goals was to get all NFL teams to go full turf. If you were to have a conversation, full grass and get rid of all artificial turf. If you were to have a conversation with him about the effects of turf versus grass, what kind of case would you be able to give him to make to the NFL, for going all natural grass?
I mean, there's a case on both ends. Right now, I think the bigger conversation here is the cleats that are being used in the NFL, right?
Mm-hmm.
The surface matters, the terrain matters, but with that, the adjustment of these cleats that are, and I don't want to say too much without giving away some of the stuff that we are actually working on.
Okay, sorry.
But the cleats that are being used in the NFL that are actually predisposing players to injuries, that's one of the first things that needs to change. And with that change, then there's an argument that can be made for either or, right? If you look at the English Premier League, with soccer, they've made some significant strides in how to reduce some of these injuries that we are still predisposed to over here, because every stadium that these athletes play in, the maintenance level, the terrain itself, the climate. There's so many different factors that play a role. But at the end of the day, the thing that's contacting with this terrain is the cleats. And so we need to take a look at that. And there's some things that we're working on to help reduce the risk of injury in that regards. So if I was speaking with your son, I would first go ahead and tell him what we're working on, and then we would have a much more in-depth conversation, because I think it could go either way based on what his insights are and what we're doing with hopefully what we're doing with the cleats that the athletes are currently wearing in the NFL.
Was that not the most shameless plug in question, Steve?
No, I loved it. Yeah, no, that was listen, that was perfect. That was very on par. You do that stuff all the time. So
Okay. Did you have something for him, Steve?
no, I do because we talked last week, and you mentioned it again about opening with everything, shoes and everything that you're opening, and it got me thinking. Come home, talk to my wife. We go to Disney a lot, and we are actually going to do the Run Disney Mini. Now we've planned on doing that. Yeah. So that's something that I've always wanted to do, and we've just never got around to it. So we were like, that conversation kind of sparked that last week. There's a lot of people around here, with Derby season coming up and different things, they're going to be planning on doing those. I'm kind of being selfish here, but I think it will be good for a lot of people when prepping for something like that. Especially if you're like me, and I've never done one, and I think there's a lot of people, especially with minis, that they're first timers. When prepping for something like that, some things that are really important.
Sure. So shameless plug here, but we are the official podiatrists of the Louisville Marathon. And so one of the things that we focus on in our practice, we actually have a package for people that are training for marathons that includes everything from the laser medicine side of things to the proper gait analysis using 3D Vicon cameras and everything else, and pressure mapping systems. The most important thing here is obviously, again, footwear plays a critical role, and everybody's foot type tends to be different, and tendencies, what we call biomechanics, tends to be different. So making sure you're in the right running shoe and you're in the right inserts is important. Obviously, strength endurance training is also very important. The one adage that I use is ramp up and then tamper down. So you want to ramp up your training. Typically training for a marathon would last anywhere from 16 to 20 weeks, or at least the sweet spot's around 18 weeks. Diet, exercise, nutrition, sleeping, rest, recovery, all of these things play a critical role. So to kind of put it into perspective, what we really focus on is, one, making sure that you're in the right shoes. Two, making sure you're in the right inserts. Once we have that part figured out, now it's making sure that your body's actually, not prone to injury. So that's where the Sports Motion Lab comes in. That's where gait analysis comes in, is we can actually see, Steve, for example, and I'd love to have you come in and I'll demonstrate this with you. Yeah. We'll have you go on the treadmill and we'll take a look at how you're walking on the treadmill, how you're running on the treadmill. Then we'll have you actually run outside, and we'll be able to see which, like, for example, are you using all the muscles that are available for you to use, or are you compensating and using 2 out of the 3, for example? Yeah. So let's take it as, this might be a bad example, but I'm going to go for it anyway. If an airplane is flying and you have 2 engines, with 1 engine it can still land, but it'd be nicer to have 2. So it's the same thing with running and muscles, right? You want to make sure that if you're able to use all the muscles that are available for you in order to perform that physical activity, that you're spreading that amount of force and capacity over the available amount of resources. And so we help you do that. We actually give you specific exercises and stretches and training modules to be able to do that, so you're activating all the available resources. Then we train your gait mechanics. So when you're running, are you coming down really hard? Is this going to then eventually start creating knee pain and ankle pain as you're going through your run, for example, during a marathon? And we actually then start to change some of those biomechanics. This is why it takes, it's nice to be able to work with a runner or even any athlete ahead of time, such as during off season and things like this, so we have the time to train these aspects. Then we put in a specific nutritional plan. What you need to be eating based on your BMI, based on your biometrics, to help you get to the ideal position where you'll be able to have the highest level of performance with the lowest risk of injury. And so we cater that plan to you. And then we give you a lot of education on recovery portions too, such as things we've discussed on your show, such as the Epsom salt soaks, elevating your legs up to the past the heart line to help reduce some swelling after a run. If you're feeling pain or if something's not feeling right, take the time to rest and recover. Don't push yourself. Changing the terrain during your training modules as well. Having cross training with, say, a stationary bike or something like that, or even outdoor biking or swimming. And then, just other things how to look for wear pattern in your shoes so you know if you need to change your shoes. Most running shoes have a 300 to 400 mile, 300 to 500 mile capacity. But there's a way that we've discussed on your show as well where you can check to see if a shoe is needing to be replaced, where we put it on a flat counter and we're looking at the back part of the shoe to see if it's angled in any way. How to check your orthotics and make sure that they are actually functional and going to do what they need to do. Proper blister care. We've spoken about this on your show as well. Try not to pop a blister because that increases the risk of infection. But put the right, be proactive. Put blister tape or Band-Aids in areas that you typically tend to blister. Then the one thing that, from the podiatry side, we always try to focus on and tell people, because we see this every time after a marathon or after a race, everybody ends up with what's called a subungual hematoma, which is where the nail has blood underneath it. Trim your nails. Trim your nails before you start training and even before the race. Make sure they're not long because your foot tends to slide. And if your nail's bumping up against the front of your shoe, you're going to create trauma. And in those situations, a nail can fall off. And we see this a lot in runners. So keep the nails as short as you can. We could do an entire hour on this.
Yeah, no, it sounds like
I have one more wives' tale question. I will get you out of here. So when you talked about elevating your feet, I remember, getting home from practice and, sitting all the way against the wall, putting your body at a total right angle to have your feet straight up in the air. Now, is that a necessary thing, or was I just doing something silly in my room was it getting the lactic acid out of my legs is what I thought I was doing? Is that something you would recommend doing after exercise?
Absolutely. No, I absolutely recommend that. You did the right thing. So a lot of people, when they say they're elevating their legs, they'll sit in their recliner, and that's not really elevating. You have to get past the heart line. That's where the blood's pumping from, right? So elevating past your heart line, whether that's laying down on the bed and putting a few pillows up, or like you said, elevating the way you were doing, or even going up against, a wall in your house and putting your legs up straight up against the wall. Getting all that to drain back down will help prevent swelling, will help prevent buildup, will help drain out the lactic acid, and then will help that recovery process. So you're able to properly get back to activity and reduce the risk of injury and the risk of cramping. That's the other big thing, is make sure you're hydrating and make sure you're, especially when you're training for a marathon or a mini, hydration's key, and being on top of that is absolutely critical. But elevation will help prevent injury. It will help recovery. Making sure you're sleeping 7 to 9 hours. That's very important. When you're sleeping, your body recovers because it's in the parasympathetic nervous system. This is where we're doing a lot of resting and digesting. And also, at that time, your brain's not really worrying about all the activity going on during the day. For example, being alert around your surroundings and things like this. It's just focused on healing you. So the more sleep you're getting, the more your body's able to heal and recover, which will lead to an optimized performance.
Okay, well, listen, if you have a quick tip for, the weekend warriors for their exercise, you can lob out one. If not, we'll let you get out of here.
Yeah, sure. Stretching, obviously, no one stretches enough, including myself. I say a lot of things and I don't do them myself, which is not good. But stretching is very important. Hydration, very important. And I always go back to the Epsom salt soaks. it's a very, very effective, quick routine to implement into your lifestyle, especially if you're very active. But even if you're not active, it's got a lot of benefits. And then I also want to say, Steve, if you're training for this and you're starting out, we'd love to have you come out and show you what we can do.
Oh, when you said that, the way me and Marcus are, that was already a given.
Yeah.
I was going to be texting you. Yeah. That's perfect. Man, thank you so much, Doctor. We appreciate you, man.
Always a pleasure, guys.
Absolutely. That was Dr. Patel from New Horizons Foot and Ankle, who I'll also be passing along the number to Jalen.
Yeah. Well, look, and Dr. Patel's a guy that you're like, how, I don't know, how you meet some people, and if you know somebody like Jalen, who's an NFL, PA president stuff, you're like, okay, like, Jim from, wherever. So
right.
I love the guy, and he does good for me. I'm probably not passing him along to, but Dr. Patel, like, you would feel totally confident going to the NFL and being like, you talk with this guy.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Like I said, I would never do that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, if you're on your way down there, he was just on stage last night with the NFL, with the PA executive director, and they're doing they're talking about the expansions of the game, and they're down there like doing real NFL negotiation business, Steve.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's the NFL weekend.
Ooh, Steve, let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell you some little dirt, okay? But don't tell anybody.
I won't tell anybody.
Don't tell anybody. Listen, only you, me, and I think Tanner are the only people that can hear this, okay?
Okay. All right.
Steve, I may have moved up in the family circle of trust. Ooh, your girl Adon might have took a step back, Steve.
What did she do?
Guess what?
I'm listening.
This morning, I got a call at like 7 o'clock, right? 7 in the morning. I see it's LaDon. I'm like, oh, what's going on? Right? So I answer the phone, Steve, and she's sad. And I'm like, what's going on? Right? And guess what?
Oh, no.
She was supposed to babysit so they could all go to the Super Bowl. And she had to say no. She's never said no ever.
Oh,
and she was sad, and I was like, yes.
Yeah.
I'm moving up.
Yeah,
So
that way, when you need those tickets next year, whatever you need, or that extra house,
when
or
I need to take a little trip or get my,
I would be there to babysit anytime.
I would have never told you no, Jalen.
Yeah, I would have stopped everything. Yeah, no, that's fantastic. That's fantastic.
That's great news.
That's great news for you. Yeah, that was awesome.
Oh, Steve, I felt so bad for her. She was so sad. She literally has never not been able to babysit. And so, I'm like, you chose work over your son and your grandbabies and your daughter-in-law?
And look, and then there's guys like me. I'm just like, your son's in the NFL. Work.
She's like,
what are you working for?
She's like, Marcus, I have clients that have, that I have to be here for. I can't just drop everything. And I told him about, look, I'm sitting here and agreeing with her about everything, Steve. I'm like, girl, you're right. You know what? That was on him to tell you earlier.
You should call him back and let him know.
You should
let him know.
I was just hyping up. You should tell him how angry. Actually, tell him you're never going to babysit again because you're tired of him waiting to the last minute.
Take you off any kind of just
benefits,
any kind of benefit. Take you off everything.
Oh, but yeah, that's what I woke up to this morning.
Oh man.
And I really am gonna pass along. I'm gonna help them exchange numbers because that really is something that he's passionate about.
And I really am gonna go see Dr. Patel
Yeah, you right.
Not till the mini that we're looking at is in late October.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be like my birthday week or so. So we've always wanted to do it. It's great. They run through I think this one is the wine and dine one, so they run through Epcot and some things like that. So it's fun.
So Tanner, are you there?
Yes.
Do we have a new intern?
Yeah, Maria. I don't know where she just went, but she was just here. She's a tennis coach.
I'm listening. Tell us about Maria before we introduce her to the world.
I truly don't know. I've talked to her for 2 seconds. She's been talking to James more than anything.
You've been in there.
Told you.
You said what?
He just told you what he knows about her. She's a tennis coach.
Tennis coach. Name's Maria. I think you consider her a blonde.
Okay.
I think that's.
Okay.
But yeah, that's all I got.
All right.
Okay, well, play us out then.
Sideline reporting.
I was going to say. Thanks, James.
Let's get back to this dub last night.
Let's get back to the dub. Rolling along, 93.9 The Ville.
This ain't the little itty bitty teeny tiny bowl. This is Super Bowl 59. Kevin Hart here for DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 59. Scoring touchdowns is key to hoisting the Lombardi Trophy, and you can score big by betting on them at DraftKings, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Ready to place your first bet? Try betting on something simple like a player to score 6. Go to DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your pick. New DraftKings customers can bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THEVILLE. That's code THEVILLE for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5.
Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 18 plus, Kentucky only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
Looking for the most romantic gift for the one you love this Valentine's? At Genesis Diamonds, celebrating love is what we do. Hi, this is Eddie Admoni, VP at Genesis. Maybe it's a simple pendant, or maybe it's an exquisite one-of-a-kind designer ring. Genesis can help you pick out the most memorable and special piece of jewelry. And to make it even sweeter, now till Valentine's, whether you spend $399 or $399,000, Genesis will give you a box of chocolates, a dozen roses from Louisville's best, Lloyd's Florist, and a dinner certificate for her meal from the premier French restaurant Brasserie Provence. So join us at Genesis Diamonds, see our spectacular collections of rings, earrings, pendants, bands, bracelets, and Swiss timepieces. Let our non-commissioned experts help you find the perfect gift that will warm their hearts and for years to come be a symbol of your love. Happy Valentine's Day from Genesis Diamonds, Shelbyville Road Plaza, limited quantity, see store for details.
Hey, Cards fans. Do you or a loved one suffer from gout? Gout is a very painful form of arthritis that can also lead to kidney and heart disease. I bet you didn't know there's now a Gout Center of Excellence right here in Louisville. They use the most up-to-date clinical guidelines and FDA-approved treatments to get you relief fast. If you have gout, be sure to call the Gout Center of Excellence at 502-719-2472 or visit them online at ralouisville.com. And be sure to tell them Marcus sent you.
We are right in the heart of winter, so it's time to ask yourself if your heating system can make it to spring. So if you have any issue with your heat, or if you know it's time for a new system, then you need to call DFH Company today. Now until January 31st, when you buy a complete Trane system, receive 18-month special financing. It's hard to stop a Trane, so call DFH Company today at 968-6222, or look them up online at dfhcompany.com. Visit dfhcompany.com for complete program eligibility, dates, details, and restrictions. Subject to credit approval.
Hey, this is the Fat Jack, and we're heading into February. Lots of big games going on. Are you ready to make some money betting on sports, or are you just betting to have fun? My clients want to actually turn a profit, and now is the time to get signed up for the entire year. Go to FatJackSports.com. Yes, you can get the predicted final score this weekend with the best bets and the top prop bets, or you can win all year long for less than $100 a week. FatJackSports.com, the only place you need to go to build profit all year long betting on the games. That's FatJackSports.com.
Spring cleaning is creeping up, so get a head start by calling Zero Res Air Duct Cleaning. You'd be surprised by the amount of dust, dander, and allergens sitting in your duct system and circulating in your home. Right now at Zero Res, mention ESPN Louisville, and you'll get $75 off your next air duct cleaning. So use promo code AIR75 when scheduling online at ZeroResLouisville.com. That's ZeroResLouisville.com.
This is Nathan Huber with ESPN Louisville. As a sports official, I'm always on my feet. I suffered with severe pain in my left foot for 2 years. Having been misdiagnosed by 2 other podiatrists, I was frustrated and not sure where to turn. I was fortunate to find Dr. Patel and his great team at New Horizon Foot and Ankle. On my first visit, Dr. Patel correctly identified my issue and started treatment that day. Thanks to his expertise, I am back on the field stronger than ever, and I can't thank his team enough. New Horizon Foot and Ankle, where innovation meets excellence.
Your home is your fortress, and your first line of defense is your roof. So if your roof is under attack by either Mother Nature or Father Time, you should be calling Citadel Roofing and Construction. Citadel Roofing and Construction is locally owned and operated, will provide free inspections, estimates, and of course they'll work with your insurance. Did I also mention their A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau? Let Citadel Roofing and Construction protect the roof that protects you by calling 502-219-7964 today.
Hey guys, Mark Ennis here. Is your home too cold in the winter, too hot in the summer, or are your energy bills too high? Then it's time to call First Choice Insulation, your local attic and crawl space insulation experts. At First Choice Insulation, they provide top quality insulation solutions to keep your home comfortable year round. First Choice Insulation has worked on projects like Denny Crum Hall and with some of the largest commercial and residential builders in the region. Whether upgrading your attic or insulating your crawl space, they've got you covered with professional service and the best materials. Call First Choice Insulation today for a free consultation. Stop burning dollars to heat and cool your home. Mention ESPN Louisville for $100 off your next project. First Choice Insulation, 502insulation.com.
After you use Bounce Dryer sheets and realize how fresh, soft, less wrinkled, and less staticky your laundry can be, you'll put a sheet on your every time. Like those socks that smell like they've been through a marathon. Or that blanket that's got wrinkles on its wrinkles.
Are you guys good to come back in like 2 minutes?
Maybe even your chatty coworker who keeps distracting you.
Maven?
Okay, Bounce Dryer sheets
Sorry, I had to
can't
mute
do
it.
it all. But for
can you give me
fresher,
3?
softer, better laundry...
Yeah, I got you.
The official broadcast partner of all U of L athletics, WLCL Sellersburg is 93.9 The Ville. Powered by Sam Aguiar Injury Lawyers. Hurt in a car? Call Sam Aguiar.
This is Sports Center. I'm Nick DeLuca. The run-up to the NBA trade deadline continues. The Lakers are getting the center they were looking for, acquiring Hornets center Mark Williams for Dalton Connect, Cam
center they're
Reddish,
looking
and a
for. They had
2031 unprotected first-round pick and a 2030
The
pick.
Sports Center update says the Lakers got the center they were looking for, but they literally just had 80.
Meanwhile, the Pelicans are
They just
trading
got Mark
all-star
Williams
forward
from
Brandon
Hornets.
Ingram to the Raptors.
He's not
for
bad, though.
first
He's like
round Kelly
23.
Olynyk,
He's gonna be
first-round
good.
pick and a second-rounder. Ingram's averaging 22.6 and 5 this season.
Yeah, no,
With
he's a
New
freak.
Orleans on
Then they
court,
only
Thunder
gave
all
up
over the Suns,
the white kid from
140-109.
Tennessee,
OKC with
Connect,
the third quarter avalanche to run away.
some other
Jay
guy, and then I got
Gilgeous-Alexander
protected first. I
had
was like,
another
damn.
special night.
That was the Reddish. He's just ass.
Played by Allen, crosses them over, retreats up the sideline.
And then Ingram getting traded at like 12. That one threw me off. A couple UK guys on the. Oh no, he's a Duke.
Number 2, 50 points in 33 minutes for Shafee Height. His third 50-point scoring game this season, leading the league.
Call on WWLS 98.1, the sports animal. Shea finished with 50 in the win, his third 50-point game in his last 7, becoming one of 9 players all-time to reach that mark in that span. Thunder moved to 40-9 this season as the Suns fall back to 500, 25-25. In baseball, Pete Alonso re-signing with the Mets on a 2-year, $54 million deal with an opt-out after year 1. Alonso will make $30 million this upcoming season.
Westwood One's presentation of the Super Bowl on ESPN Louisville is delivered by Wing Zone. You got it. WingZone.com. Miss anything from your favorite show? Head over to the Alex R. White Sue Distracted Driver Podcast Center on ESPNLouisville.com.
All right, coming back at
Are you
60.
looking to upgrade any area of your home? Well, don't worry, I have the perfect answer for you, and that is Ebbs & Low Renovations. Decks, bathroom remodels, kitchen remodels, and basement finishings are some of the many offerings provided by this great company. The team recently built a new deck for none other than Drew Diener. They also came in and repainted the entire ESPN Louisville studio. Give owner Steve Ebbs a call at 502-471-9700 for all commercial or residential jobs. That's 502-471-9700. Or visit ebbsandlow.com and schedule a free estimate. High quality work from a company that has served all across Kentuckiana. This company has an A+ rating by the Better Business Bureau. Schedule your free estimate today at ebbsandlow.com. That's EBBSANDLOWE.com. And tell them you heard about them right here on ESPN Louisville.
Calm. No? Tanner? Okay, so where are we at, Steve?
Sorry, I got you. Well, I mean, listen, I'll just start.
It's a win.
It's a conference road win.
It's a conference road win.
Yeah, I mean, like
in Boston.
Right. First and foremost, that it gives you your 17th win. I mean, we're sitting here on February 6th with our 17th win already. And you got a few more ahead of you. I'm just assuming, right? So, yeah, I mean, anytime you can go on the road in conference and get a dub, I mean, it's good.
What do you feel like we get? And by the way, phone lines are open, I assume, Tanner. 8150-939 is the number. 3831-939 is the text line. However, it'd probably be better to tag us in a tweet on a show like today. So, what is something you feel like we got better at? What is something you were excited about, or something you want to critique? Let me say this. No, you know what? We'll get to that. Let's start off with something you think we got better at.
Well, I mean, first before I do it as a whole, let me give. Okay, I'll do it because there's two guys I really want to give a lot of credit to last night. But I think we are getting better at. That's 2 games in a row now that Rain Smith has not been. Okay, put it this way. I think he's a great shooter. This is going to be a little bit of coach in me, I think, now.
I'm listening.
I think he's a great shooter. I also think that sometimes he bails us out of possessions, right? And And I don't think it's a bad thing. I mean, that's a skill set he has. I mean, that's what he does. He bails you out of a possession sometimes. Like, that's a good thing. Okay, I'm not. So I want to make this clear. I'm not. That's what great shooters do. You know, but I've enjoyed. I think that was part of the problem at Georgia Tech. Down the stretch, he just wasn't bailing us out of some bad possessions. And he didn't last night either. But we found a way, regardless, and not just found a way, we found a way to win. We had some really good possessions last night. I mean, we had some great, and I'm not talking about Pat Kelsey drawing it up. When I'm saying possessions, I'm talking about we have actions. We're out here playing basketball. You know what I mean? Whether we're running a zoom action, whether we're running a Spain action, no matter what we're running, we are playing basketball, and we had some great possessions last night. And that's something that I've liked seeing with this team because during that 10-game stretch and Rain Smith was smoking hot, I found myself going, God, we're going to hit a game in the tournament, and he's just not going to hit, and we're going to struggle. And again, this is just like the next step in because, I mean, again, a great shooter takes you out of a bad possession. Like, that's what great shooters do. I know I keep repeating that, but I'm not knocking him for being a guy that, it's like, man, that's what they do. But I'm glad to see us kind of taking the next step and feeling like, because after Georgia Tech, I thought, man, maybe that's going to be one of our Achilles is if Rain Smith isn't knocking down threes in an insane clip because teams got film on him. Teams are guarding him differently.
They're attacking him. They're forcing him to play a lot more defense.
Absolutely. And
let me ask you this on Rain Smith. I keep hanging up on if I want to do this disclaimer first. Actually, I will do this disclaimer first. Everything I say about this team and what they can get better at, it's tough for me to say out loud. Not because it's like if you and I are having a conversation, a one-on-one conversation, or a barbershop, it's easy to say. But just because if somebody doesn't understand how appreciative I am of some of the little things, then some of my critique is like I want to say I am not taking away from anything y'all are doing.
Absolutely.
So that's my disclaimer. This has been the most.
It's why I struggled a little through that last.
Yep. The most difficult. Yeah. This has been the most difficult team to critique that I've covered. Because of their personalities and they do so much of the little things at just full tilt. It's hard to get the
desperate. They play desperate. And you don't question that.
Yes.
Even in a loss against Georgia Tech, I didn't question their desperation of play.
Right. Okay. So Rain Smith, I'm gonna say this to you and say you agree, disagree. It doesn't matter because we, at the end of the day, think he's in the right place. First of all, you know how I am. His shot. When he trots during the shot, it drives me crazy. That might be the old school in me, and he's such a good shooter that you don't want to even tinker and get him thinking about anything. But I'm still like,
he's a good shooter and he's old.
And he's an adult. Yeah, he's an adult shooter. But I still want to say, hey, get your legs up under you, son. Come down in your shadow. Get your legs up under you. We know you can shoot. But I feel like he still sometimes just wants to prove that he's the best shooter in the nation. So listen, I said something, Steve. I laughed at myself. It was just the most racist thing I ever said to myself in history, right?
It's okay.
I said, you know how just the old adage, just the player that wants to look good rather than, be effective.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's been known as the delegation guy. The basketball player
sure
that loves to look cold instead of being cold. I'm like, Rain, you're not supposed to be that guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like Rain is doing a little bit of a home run trot, a little Steph Curry-isms here and there. And I'm like, don't do that. It's not.
I would pay. I may go and pay somebody. Look, just say, listen, give Rain Smith a massive arm sleeve NIL deal. Just for him to come out in the next game in like a full arm sleeve.
I know.
And to have raindrops down the side.
I'm like, Rain, you don't need swag on your shot. Just shoot it. Just shoot it, make it go in. I'm like you, Steve. Why can't you be more like JJ Redick? The perfect
shot.
The perfect repeatable
Redick
form.
And Ken Griffey Jr.
Mm.
are like the two that you're like, yeah, that's perfect.
That's perfect.
Yeah, it's just perfect.
Yeah, and when I see him shoot perfect, I hate to see him shoot any other way. And a part of me thinks
he doesn't miss.
You said what?
I said chart it. He's probably, I bet he's over 85% when he's set shooting the basket.
Yes. Yes.
I bet he's over 85%.
And I'm like, Rain, don't chase. Don't chase any numbers. Don't chase anything. Because listen, there is no way his shots are going that far down in the basket and not going in. Yeah. It's just like, it's something in the spiritual realm that's pulling his basketball out of that rim when he misses it. And I get it. If he doesn't get a lot of clean looks, you know, that one, just that one towards the end of the game where he shot it kind of fast in the corner, just happy to kind of like
it's sometimes putting it up on the glass. Me and you've talked about that before. It is important too, because it gives us, especially we crash hard, and that gives us a shot.
Yeah.
You know, James had one last night. I'll get back to what you're saying, but James had one in the second half that it got bobbled around, and then James had a great just slap it out, and I think he went and grabbed it around the 3-point line, but he just kept a possession alive.
Yep.
And that come off getting the ball, just getting the ball up. So there is a piece of that that's valuable.
Listen, Rain, we trust you. Shoot the ball. You don't have to go into perfect shot world. You get a look, you get it off, you let it go. As long as you hit your mechanic lines, we're good. But yeah, I did think for a second he might be chasing to get a shot off, or might be chasing a number. Again, not saying he's chasing like intentionally, but just kind of like if you haven't got a clean look in a while, it's natural for you just let it go a split second quicker, or just a little bit of a confidence thing. Just like I said, a 3-pointer needs good mechanics to go in consistently. Yeah, that was my Rain Smith, rant. But it's like,
and again, like you said, this is us finding because they're not a perfect team, and as hard as it is, there are things we can find. Now, on the flip side of that, two guys that I just thought last night were fantastic was Kadir and Javon.
Start with Kadir.
Okay. Starting with Kadir, I mean, when you come
because I disagree with you.
Okay. No, I'm okay with this. I mean, for me with Kadir, 11 boards is like, do you know how valuable it is?
In 15 minutes.
In 15 minutes. To have a guy, and by the way, post-game last night, he said, basically, he was like, I'm almost there. Like he's talking about, like, I mean, I literally, he didn't say this, I'm paraphrasing, but I mean, he basically said, like, I probably could have or should have set out a little longer, but I can play without it being, and I'm almost back. And I'm like, okay, that's good. That's good, because, I mean, to have a guy who can go pull 11 rebounds and give you 9 points.
9 and 11 in 15 minutes.
Like, that is just the efficiency of that kid is unreal.
You know who he reminds me of, Steve?
Okay.
You know who he reminds me of, and he's not this guy at all. But you're gonna remember this season in particular. He reminds me of like when I was watching Corey Maggette.
Yeah.
You remember that year he didn't start and he was just a gung ho, to the wall, whatever you want to say. He was just gung ho. Like, listen, coach.
They went to the championship game, didn't they?
I think so.
I think he was a freshman. Like, he only played
Yep.
1 year, dude.
He
right?
played
Yeah.
1 year, and
Yeah,
coach.
it went to the title.
Yep, Coach K wasn't going to start him. He wasn't, and Maggette didn't care. He's like, if you give me 12 minutes, I'm gonna go be a 12-minute animal.
Yeah.
Right. And he just went. That's how Corey. Again, it's Corey Maggette. He's a McDonald's All-American. I'm not saying it.
Well, sure.
But the way Kadir just comes in there, and here's the thing, it's also like his natural explosiveness. Like, I didn't think Corey Maggette. This is another thing that we have to have this conversation, because I'm gonna bring in James Scott to this one. I felt like he was kind of a muscle guy, Corey Maggette. Just muscle and athlete and speed and power. I didn't know how good his natural skill and his natural rhythm was. I think his jab step was just so explosive that it worked.
Yeah.
His speed and strength, it just worked because he's stronger and faster, whatever. So I'm watching Kadir last night, and I'm not hijacking your compliments.
No.
I'm just saying you're enjoying him, and I'm not. Because I'm like, all I see is all this potential in he has something extra, Steve. You know what I'm saying? Like, he has a gear.
Absolutely.
He has another gear. He has a jumping gear. When he starts making these little crossover, it's like he don't have handles, but he has moves.
Yes.
Like his explosiveness. And every time I see it, I'm like, do that more. Do that more.
What about the follow-up? I mean, even just the
Yes.
follow-up dunk early.
Yeah, see, and that follow-up is like, who the hell was that? No, if you're Boston College, you're like, what the hell was that? Now you're like, this dude's on the bench. He's going at starters.
He was 4 of 4 last night.
He was 4 of 4. He missed one when he got fouled, and I could tell he was angry at himself for missing that. But yeah, you get what I'm saying? Did you find yourself kind of going, he has so much untapped? Like, he could bring so much athleticism to the table, so much speed and power.
Well, and then, like I said, and then you hear him after the game say, I'm not quite back yet. Not quite back. But it's like, okay, all right. Honestly, he would have been my player of the game. I think I said Javon Hadley a minute ago, but I meant Terrence Edwards.
Okay.
But if
because Javon Hadley was awesome too.
No, Javon was good. But I don't know why I said Javon Hadley, but maybe I should just go with him. Maybe it's my brain telling me. But I to me, if Terrence Edwards hadn't been so good, and I just think he was great last night, it would have been to me, Kadir would have been the guy who kind of pushed that, because I bet his plus minus was through the roof. In those 15 minutes, it felt like every time we went on the runs, he was in the game. So if he was in, I would love to see. I know they probably got it somewhere, but I bet his plus minus was great last night for a dude on the floor for 15 minutes. Now, let me flip that and let me go to the next guy, Terrence Edwards Jr.
Okay.
He was great. I mean,
do you know the entire time he's playing and he's balling out, I'm thinking about that conversation we had yesterday about him having numbers to get on the all conference honors.
Well, He had it last night.
Right. And I'm looking at, and again, I was just thinking about the conversation, and I'm like,
Even though I do hate this, because I look at that and somebody say, "Look, my son hit me with this last night, and I got so aggravated." He said, "Man, he almost had he said Terrence Edwards almost had a triple double." I said, "No, he didn't. He had 6 assists. It's not almost a triple double."
did you fight your son over
Yeah.
son 4 more assists?
Son, 4 more assists and 2 more rebounds.
Son, do you realize if you average 4 assists a game, you're like one of the best point guards in the conference?
Yeah, it's just so easy.
If you have a 4 assist game, son, you had a great game.
6 assists, man. You know how hard it is to get that?
You
He didn't almost have a triple double.
Yeah, but your son is tainted because he just watched Chucky Hepburn a couple games ago get, 18?
Yeah. Yes, just some crazy.
Yeah. So he's like, I mean, Dad, Chucky Hepburn's plus his look, what is it? His over under is 7.5, 8 assists a game. What do you mean?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I'm like, oh yeah, anybody should do it. The only time I got mad at Terrence last night was he didn't peak in transition. He caught the pass and he didn't peak at all. He caught it. It was about midcourt. He caught it, just turned and went. I'm like, defender. I think it was the Tyson kid.
Yep.
He was right there.
Yep.
Or Payne. It was the Payne kid.
Listen.
He was just right there.
Steve.
You got to peak, man. Come on.
You want to know what's funny about that, Steve? Last night, if I were going to talk to you, I was going to have the conversation with you about, like, I wanted you to talk me off the cliff on transition. And listen, this is just Marcus being Marcus. Y'all can turn off your radios, because if you ever hear me being negative, it'll be right now in transition. Listen, of course, I've still not adjusted to getting the ball underneath the basket in transition and throwing it to a 3-pointer. Okay, I understand that I'm not adjusted to that. Never will, probably. But just
wait long enough, the game will come back around.
Yeah, I can't wait, Steve. But here's the thing. When I see us in transition and I don't see fill-ins in the lanes, it drives me crazy. That late pass that Terrence Edwards Jr. made to Kenai Ruths, I mean, we got the layup, but you remember how awkward that was?
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
You remember Terrence Edwards Jr., he's on the right side, and he does the fake lob, and he gets the layup. I'm Steve.
Yeah.
I'm scratching myself. I'm clawing myself. I'm breaking out in hives over, rain getting.
Edwards move is kind of nice.
That's what I'm saying. It's nice. The Euro steps are nice, but it just drive me crazy because they don't feel efficient to me. You know what I'm saying? Without the quick bounce pass or the alley-oop. The alley-oop is there. I shouldn't be on the edge of my seat in transition as much as I am.
Yeah, but I you know what I say though? I just say be patient. Be patient, Padawan. Like, be patient, okay? Because when I've got Michael Brown out there running, you know what I'm saying? And I've got guys like that. I think
so. Terrence has to be more. So these guys have to be more craftier than the normal super athletes.
I think so. I think so.
That's fair.
I don't.
That's fair.
This team.
That's why I can't be a coach.
Yeah, but I
go dunk it, Terrence. Everybody on this court should be dunking that basketball.
I know, and in reality, I mean, what Kenai Roos
and Trey Orbe
is probably the only guy, and Kadir are probably the only guys that are doing that. I mean, James Scott is not really doing that in transition. He's a lob threat. He's a lob.
He's a wonderful lob threat.
Yeah, but
what are we?
I don't think
okay.
we have those guys.
What are we gonna What is Marcus gonna do about James Scott finishing when it's not a lob.
Well, it's why he'll be here next year, you know. And I don't mean that like negative, but when you see a guy as young as he is and as talented as he is, I think sometimes you're like, man, he might be gone. You know, like he might get a look. It's why he's got one more year.
It's great passes. He made some great passes.
Great. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. But we talked about it, man.
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we talked about it when he was – sorry, I was answering a 6-year-old's question at the same time, too. Yeah, so Bullitt County, we're off school for the rest of the week.
Fair.
Out here in Mount Washington, there's no school, so that's why I'm here. But no, I mean, next year when he can develop – because here's the thing I like about it, though. He made a good move yesterday. He missed it.
Mm-hmm.
But I was even encouraged with the move he made.
Right. But
so that to me is the next step. And I think James we talked about it. I talked about it on that Zoom action. If he can catch the ball at the top of the key and he can send somebody through and he can fake a flip and take it to the basket himself, that's when James Scott's going to be
a player.
This guy is. Yeah.
Yesterday, I said it during the pregame show. I said it's time for him to start being a player and not just a weapon or a tool. You know.
Yeah.
Like crash into the backs. I need Chucky Hepburn to be able to drop a bounce pass in the pocket to you, and you got to be able to catch that. It's not going to. Okay, that's exactly what my question was, Steve. Like,
That's not going to happen this year.
It's not going to happen this year. Can he?
Yeah, I mean,
can he dance?
It's not. Who, James?
Yeah.
It wouldn't be the worst thing to take a class.
You think he can dance now?
If he can't.
Does you think he has rhythm?
I don't know. He's an awkward guy.
A little stiff, huh?
Yeah, and he's young though, man. I mean, he's essentially a freshman, age-wise. I mean, he started playing college basketball at 17. Like, so that's why.
And I love the personality that he is, man.
Same.
Yeah, this conversation's painful, you know. But we're talking through trying to get him to reach his potential as fast as possible. So
there's no more months in between me and March. Next month is March.
Mm-hmm.
So now is when it's time to have the painful conversations because we're here now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not like
I don't know, Steve. I don't know, Steve, because I did just make the point last month when we were 10 games away from the UK game. I was like, that was a season ago. So having 8 games, we have 8 games left? At least 8 games.
Yeah.
At
least, yeah.
Or 9, because we'll still have a tournament game guaranteed. So at least 9 games left. That was the distance between our win streak from Kentucky to when I said, hey, that's still a lot of live bullets to change your life. You know, a lot of live opportunities to get better faster with minutes played.
But I do think the later you get into the season, the more you kind of settle.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think the growth
is.
But you're not wrong though. I mean, hey, are there guys like Kenai Roos? Are there guys like James Scott that the more minutes they, you know, when Noah Waterman getting healthier, watching? I mean, we didn't even talk about him yet, who played last night. Watching Kadir get healthier. I mean, listen, this team could be a lot different in 8-9 games.
Yep. Well, with Kadir healthy, and he looks like he's getting more freedom every game. Like I said, he had one bad play the whole game. He charged trying to go baseline or something.
Yeah, well, and what about this? PK can get better. You know, Pat Kelsey, Coach Kelsey can get better in between now and then. And I don't mean get better as much as he'll tweak stuff.
Yeah, he'll learn. He'll get confidence in players that can perform. He'll learn more about what guys can do what on his team and learn how to use it more.
you don't think he's got some tournament sets, some sets in his back pocket that he's like, you don't pull these out till March, you don't scout them.
All right,
Absolutely.
All right, Pat Crumb. No, Marcus, we saved that for the end of the season.
Yeah. You're like, great.
Yeah, a lot of good is gonna do me, Coach.
Hey, Coach, we're down 6 to Gonzaga now. You want to play that? You want to call that play? Can we call that?
You want to finally call an alley-oop play? I'm never gonna get
From's white rear end out here running around shooting the basketball.
Oh God, you're getting this guy's total free will to shoot whatever he wants. Coach is saying, let's run guard. I tell you what, Steve, let's get this last reset, get this last commercial in, we'll close it out here on 93.9 The Ville.
We are your home for Louisville basketball. Here's another steal. Hadley picked up that one, stole the pass. Cards get it back. Here's Edwards, 2-on-1.
Yeah, great show so far, fellas.
KFC Yum Center Saturday as they host Miami. Pre-game coverage with Paul Rogers and Bob Valvano begins at 12:30 with live play-by-play at 2 o'clock, and then directly following network postgame, it's the Coors Light postgame show with Taylor Lynch. It's all Saturday on your home for the Cards, 93.9 The Ville and the ESPN Louisville app.
This ain't the little itty bitty teeny tiny bowl. This is Super Bowl 59. Kevin Hart here for DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 59. Scoring touchdowns is key to hoisting the Lombardi Trophy, and you can score big by betting on them at DraftKings, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Ready to place your first bet? Try betting on something simple like a player to score 6. Go to DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your pick. New DraftKings customers can bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THEVILLE. That's code THEVILLE for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5.
Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 18 plus, Kentucky only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
Hey, it's Steve Rummage here. You've probably heard all about the new regulations that have hit the real estate market, making the process more complex than ever. And if you're not working with the right real estate agent professional, you could find yourself out of bounds fast. That's why it's more important than ever to work with someone who has proven their expertise. Like my good friend Josh Jarbo. Josh was recently inducted into the RE/MAX Hall of Fame and named one of Louisville's 40 under 40. This guy knows the game inside and out. Josh and the team at RE/MAX Empire are the seasoned pros you want on your side. They know how to navigate the market, make the right calls, and get you the best deal every time. So don't let a cut-rate agent make a rookie mistake and fumble your financial future. Whether you're buying, selling, or just need some mortgage advice, these are the folks you want in your corner. So here's the play. Call Josh Jarbo, 502-216-7590, or check him out online at joshjarbo.remaxempireky.com. And here's a special offer just for you guys. Mention you heard it right here on 93.9 The Ville, and you're going to receive up to a $5,000 seller's credit. I'll leave you with this. Top-notch service might seem expensive, but poor service can cost you a fortune. Don't settle for less than the best.
Josh Jarbo, principal broker owner of RE/MAX Empire and co-founder of Modern Mortgage A to Z, NMLS number 2256125. Each office is independently owned and operated. Modern Mortgage A to Z is an equal house lender.
Hey, Card fans, attorney Sam Aguiar here, proud partner of U of L Athletics and ESPN Radio Louisville. Car wrecks can be a nightmare, and insurance companies are just going to make it worse. But when you're part of our team, we take care of those hassles so you can focus on getting better. We've helped thousands of Card fans get life-changing results on their claims, and it would be an honor to work for you too. So if you've been hurting a car, give us a call at 502-888-8888 or check us out online at demandsam.com. And go Cards!
Unlimited wash plans from Mike's Car Wash were made for our unpredictable winter weather. Unlimited plans let you wash as often as you want to stay ahead of the worst of winter. Purchase unlimited plans at any of Mike's 40 locations. Open daily at 7 a.m.
Most people don't put much thought into the value of a reliable water or sewage pump until they have to. Well, I have a team that never stops thinking about it. Kentuckiana Pump Sales. With over 35 years of experience, Kentuckiana Pump Sales, a premier Ashland pump shop, includes sump, sewage, grinder pumps, and many more to service all residential, municipal, commercial, and industrial needs. Next time you think about pumps, think Kentuckiana Pump Sales, 3303 Industrial Parkway, Jeffersonville, Indiana, or visit KentuckianaPumps.com.
Looking for the most romantic gift for the one you love this Valentine's? At Genesis Diamonds, celebrating love is what we do. Hi, this is Eddie Edmoni, VP at Genesis. Maybe it's a simple pendant, or maybe it's an exquisite one-of-a-kind designer ring. Genesis can help you pick out the most memorable and special piece of jewelry. And to make it even sweeter, now till Valentine's, whether you spend $399 or $399,000, Genesis will give you a box of chocolates, a dozen roses from Louisville's best, Lloyd's Florist, and a dinner certificate for her meal from the premier French restaurant Brasserie Provence. So join us at Genesis Diamonds, see our spectacular collections of rings, earrings, pendants, bands, bracelets, and Swiss timepieces. Let our non-commissioned experts help you find the perfect gift that will warm their hearts and for years to come be a symbol of your love. Happy Valentine's Day from Genesis Diamonds, Shelbyville Road Plaza, limited quantity, see store for details.
Got scrap metal? Midwest Metals makes recycling easy. Step 1, bring your scrap metal to any Midwest Metals location. Step 2, we weigh your haul while you relax. Step 3, get paid. It's that simple. We accept copper, aluminum, brass, and lead at all our facilities, as well as steel at our Shelbyville and Lexington locations. For years, Midwest Metal has been serving our community and spreading the word about the importance of recycling. Visit us in Louisville, Shelbyville, or Lexington, or check out mwmcorp.com for more details. Midwest Metals, recycling made
Coming
simple,
back in 30.
cash made easy.
Hey, Cards
Is that
fans.
good?
Do
All
you or a loved one suffer from gout? Gout is a very painful form of arthritis that can also lead to kidney and heart disease. I bet you didn't know there's now a Gout Center of Excellence right here in Louisville. They use the most up-to-date clinical guidelines and FDA-approved treatments to get you relief fast. If you have gout, be sure to call the Gout Center of Excellence at 502-719-2472 or visit them online at ralouisville.com. And be sure to tell them Marcus sent you. Me to remind you that your home is your fortress and your first line of defense is your roof. So if your roof is under attack by either Mother Nature or Father Time, you should be calling Citadel Roofing and Construction. Citadel Roofing and Construction is locally owned and operated, will provide free inspections, estimates, and of course, they'll work with your insurance. Did I also mention an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau? Let Citadel Roofing and Construction protect the roof that protects you by calling 502-219-7964 today. So, Steve, how will this ball? What's your takeaways for how Boston College game will be remembered at the end of the season? Will it be the Coach Earl Grant beef game? Will it be the Chucky Hepburn groin game? Will it be the Terrence Edwards Mr. Do-It-All game?
Well, that's what I was going to say. I'm going to answer this question with what I hope it's not remembered by, and that's a Chucky Edwards game.
Chucky Hepburn. Chucky Edwards would be awesome, Steve.
Chucky Edwards would be.
Chucky Edwards would not be here.
What? Yeah. Why is this guy?
Chucky Edwards would not be here.
Why is this guy in college still?
But Chucky Edwards would cost us so much money, Steve. The Louisville GDP.
Holy crap, dude. I don't know where I'm at today.
A
Von
6'5",
Hadley.
a 6'5" Chucky Hepburn, 6'5.5" Chucky Hepburn.
God, that could play like Terrence Edwards. Like, good Lord.
Combine their
Okay.
defense and length.
Yeah. Good night, man. Yeah, anyways, Chucky Hepburn, hopefully it's not remembered as that. Because if it is, then that means things went south. Or not south, but, we had a tough finish somewhere, and it was like, man, you remember things changed when Chucky,
Let me tell you how my brain works. And you're gonna be so mad at me after you finish listening. This is like, you've been around me long enough to know that this is reasonable, but only you would understand this. So I'm watching that, and you're already going worst case scenario. Extended time, okay? Okay, so extended time. Now I'm looking at my team's attitude, and I'm saying to myself, well, Marcus, you know how you feel about injuries. Marcus, when superstars go out, you always believe that it ratchets up the attention to detail. It gets everybody else playing harder. Like there's some little trigger in the back of everybody's mind to say, no, I want to show we are a team. So, like, some teams will thrive on you losing your star. Would you agree with that?
I do. Absolutely.
Okay. So then I'm like, well, Terrence Edwards Jr. is used to this position. He hadn't really been in this position this year where everything went through him. And you remember that sometimes at the beginning of the year, we were like, he's just kind of trying to find his space to fit in because he's a good teammate and he respects his team.
Right.
That last 10, 12 minutes, what if that was closer to his overall comfort zone where everything goes through him?
Well, it could let me take you back to the 2017 season. I mean, do you remember when Q had to miss a nice stretch and Donovan come in and took over the point guard spot there for that little stretch? And it was about this time of year too. And we just looked phenomenal.
Yep. And
with him,
it forces everybody. Like, what if that missing Chucky turned a key for Abubakar? You know?
Yeah. No, you're not wrong. However, if I can say, it's not really fair that I would have to do that a second time this year. Like,
I didn't want to do this again.
Losing case in prior.
I did that already.
Like, I've already done this. Okay. How about the basketball guy just throw me a freaking bone here?
You know how far? Listen, and I didn't even stop there. I kept going, and I'm like, well, maybe that this is more of Kelsey's wheelhouse too.
Yeah.
Totally. Like, hey, maybe I'm undermanned at College of Charleston, and I'm giving Alabama everything they want, and maybe he's in his wheelhouse now with a little bit more of an undermanned unit.
It'd be a nice little tournament loss. We'll be like, man, we did everything we could.
Steve, I was just
undermanned.
I was going, well, maybe this is not bad as I thought.
Yeah. College of Louisville just took an L.
College of Louisville. That was the worst, funniest jokes you could have made. Steve.
Yeah, I know.
The College of Louisville.
But they fought hard.
I don't want to be the College of Louisville, Steve.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
No disrespect. No disrespect.
They were in it till the end.
Oh, but yeah, I want my studs. I want my
point. At what point during that game in the tournament would Pat Kelsey just go, Ali, go get your stuff. We're gonna burn it. We're gonna burn your whole career on one game. Let's go.
Let's see if you truly want this.
No,
are you truly willing to make a sacrifice, Ali?
Yeah. Do you love this team or not? You know the type of women Honest Mahmoud got, so you're in line. All right, you're next in line. Here's my thing though.
Greatest singer night ever.
I actually do agree with you, especially if it's extended time in the short term.
Mm-hmm.
Now I hope that's not the case, but let's say you don't have him for Miami and NC State, or something like that. Or even we'll go one more. We'll say Miami, NC State, and back here for Florida State or whatever. And okay, yeah, I definitely think there could be something to that. I don't think you could survive it like long term.
Yeah. Say 3. Yeah, 3 max.
Yeah, a nice little stretch here, but yeah, I mean it's definitely. I mean they looked good. I mean, like again, it's okay to be comfortable saying, man, they looked really sharp after he went out, and still say, I mean, we don't need to not play with Chucky. Like it was kind of that same thing in 17 when it was like, man, like we looked better when or looked a little more sharp when Q was out, but we don't need to not have Q Snyder.
Is it better to be able to prepare knowing you don't have them, or to lose somebody early in the game?
I think it can be both. Probably lose them in the game, because then it's like one of the lines I took from Coach Kelsey, I just love it, was when he said, Skip Prosser said it was the benefit of no choice.
Yes. Yeah.
I think that's kind of what happens during the game. It's now granted we're a little different just because we're such an older team, and I think Terrence Edwards is a guy. It's like, okay, I've been in this spot. Like he's not waking up going, oh God, I'm gonna have to play the point guard all game. It's like, okay. But when you're in game sometimes and you got to say, hey man, you got to do it. Sometimes guys just tighten up, they sharpen up, real quick. Like, okay, I've got to get this done. This is on me. And that could be all last night was. We may watch a full game without Chucky and go, we're up 4 against Miami here, and I don't think much of Miami.
God, Chucky's it's gonna suck. Chucky, he's gonna be in ice baths for the next month.
Oh yeah. No, you know, I said it at the beginning of the show, man, and I don't mean this like I think Chucky's gonna play, but you don't get over that. You're not gonna get over that before the season's over. Like, it's going to be an issue for you. Now, how bad of an issue? Hopefully it's on the lighter side. I mean, dude, it's February. Dude,
everybody's hurt. Yeah, everybody's hurt. Yeah, everybody's hurt.
Yeah, like there are all kinds of dudes that are playing through pain, through blisters, through, whatever, man, ingrown toenails, little things that you're like, God, man, you scoff at it. That's like how many times? How many?
No, it didn't happen. He didn't have his hand wrapped either.
No. I think it was the right call by Coach Kelsey. They said last night on the broadcast, Coach Kelsey shut him down. Said Noah was going to play through it, and Coach Kelsey was like, no, we need you healthy. Like, it's important that you're healthy, and we'll, losing one game in that stretch is a small price to pay to have a completely healthy Noah Waterman in March. Like, that's what we need.
I still want him to dunk the ball though when he gets the runway.
Well, the one time he did last night, they stepped out. I was like, no, I don't want to see. I thought I would never see that that turnover for us again. God bless Mike James. I love Mike James, and I'm a big Mike James fan. But it was like, son, you gotta know, like, the line don't change.
It has not changed since you've been in college.
And I've been in the Planet Fitness Keeper Center. It's the same dimensions, man. Like, it's not like there's a wall right up against the court. There, or something. But good night.
Okay, give a shout out, Steve.
Yeah, no, let's give a quick shout out, man, because I appreciate my guys over at Tri-State Men's Health. And here's the thing, man, we're coming up on the springtime, and I wanted, you heard me earlier. I enjoy getting out for a jog. Everybody knows that about me. That's something I just do for my own competitive mindset. I never would have realistically been like, no, I want to run a 5K and like get my time. Like, you know, I don't know. I don't think win it. I'm not trying to win it, but like, you know, actually like look at my time though. And you heard me earlier talk to Dr. Patel, and I want to do that in October for the Run Disney, and I equate a lot of that to Tri-State Men's Health, and just the energy that I have. I mean, I'm 38. My goal is to win. I'm 38 now. I have a goal to be in the best shape of my life when I'm 40. Like that's just something for my own thing, man. Like I want that, and I'm on the right track with that since I've been going over there to Tri-State Men's Health, and I get to. You know, I go over there for my injections. For me, it was testosterone that I needed. For me, it was weight loss help that I needed. And they've provided me with both of those. And if you say, well, I don't really know what I need, well, go to tristatemenshealth.com and take their low T quiz. It's 10 questions, yes or no answers, take you about 2 minutes. And see if any of that applies to you, because you might be surprised at some of the things that it affects. And then the next step is to go to one of their great locations, either here in Louisville, in Northern Kentucky, in Cincinnati, Columbus, wherever you're closest to, and check them out. And go in. You're going to do a quick 30-minute appointment. They're going to take your blood. And if you sign up for testosterone the day you go in, they'll waive the $99 fee for that appointment. Or you don't have to. There's no pressure. You know, you can pay that $99 and just say, okay, I just want to know what was wrong, you know, and leave guilt-free. But get over there and check them out. Tell them you heard about them right here on 93.9 The Ville.
Go ahead and play us out, Tanner. I'll give one more shout out. Derek A. Stewart, realtor extraordinaire and a day one for all your home buying and selling needs or questions. 502-314-9868. As always, 8150-939 is always the number. 3831-939 is always the text line. The YouTube channel is normally made for the Ville. Middays with Marcus Maven, 939 The Ville.
Good show, guys.
Appreciate you, Tanner.